Hey guys, it's Wednesday, and you know what Wednesday means. I know lots of you come on Wednesday just so you can hear what Mike's got to say. So I'm going to turn over Tech Talk to him, and once he's finished, then we're going to chat a little bit more. So go ahead, Mike.
All right, ladies, I'm going to talk to you about um, your top thread and your bobbin thread. And I know some of you have um issues about pulling thread through the back and it's caught, it doesn't come out. You break thread off in your bobbin area, you get it jammed up. Well, it's pretty simple. Um, Whenever you're finished your stitch. Some of your machines, you have an up needle up and down that you can use. If not, you've got a hand wheel on the side of your machine. You basically turn that hand wheel, and while you're turning it, whenever you get to the utmost highest position in your sewing machine, it's going to release. Okay. And you should be able to pull your fabric, your thread to the back of the machine very easy. Okay. You have your pressure foot up, and you should be easy for you to pull the thread towards the back of the machine. If it's not easy, that means you don't have it in the right position and it's not released. Okay, so it's still caught. So you want to make sure that you're pulling it lightly to the back and turning your hand wheel and or your needle up down position in order to free the flow of thread through your machine. Um, it shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be caught. Um, and that's the purpose of either rotating your hand wheel, using the needle up and down to get into the right position so that your thread does pull out easily. Now, bear in mind, I said your presser foot has to be up. Okay. You don't want it down. You don't want it setting on your fabric. You don't want it setting on your thread. You don't want your needle down. You want your needle up. Um, those are all the little things for you to check and make sure where you're at on your sewing machine. And because if you're pulling hard, you can either pull your bobbin out, you can pull your bobbin case out, you can get jammed around your thread cutter. There's several different things that you can do by trying to pull aggressively when your needle is not in the up position, your presser foot's up. Um, it's just, it doesn't need force to get your thread to come out of the back of the machine. It should be pretty easily to pull it out. So and what I'm finding and what I'm hearing is some of the people are getting their thread caught in their pulling, and then there's little springs, there's little um, clips that hold thread into place so your thread cutters work, and they're getting bent and they're getting pulled out of position, and then your thread cutter doesn't work, and then you start having issues. Okay, it's very avoidable. Just simply by using the machine the way it's intended for it to be used. Um, that is, get your needle in the up position, get your presser foot up, and then your thread should flow out of the back of the machine. Um, it's the easiest, simplest way to pull the thread. And yes, some of you want tails, some of you don't want tails. Um, and that goes with which machine you have as to um, using the thread cutter, not using the thread cutter, using it manually, um, all those things. Now, There is times that even on the high-end machine that you want to have a tail out the back while you're sewing to get something started and do some things so that um, you don't have a short tail like that. And I'll let Sherry explain those things to you when you want to do that because she's the one that does the sewing. I just fix them. Okay. But that's a very easy way to keep from having to fix them um, because I've gotten several in the last week that people have pulled on their thread and pulled um, the thread cutter spring or a holder out of place. And it's just simply because the needle wasn't in the right place whenever they start pulling on thread. And then once you get thread jammed down in there, you basically have to take your needle plate off and clear out the thread and get your bobbin case back in the right place. And if you pulled one of those um, little pieces of metal that holds your thread down, you're basically going to be making a trip to the technician so that they can put it back together. It's a very easy way to keep from having to have a service. It's a very easy way to keep you sewing. So uh, brute force is not needed. All right. Any questions, Sherry?
Everybody's listening and saying hey and watching, but nope. Does anybody have any questions for Mike before I let him go? Because you know when he's done, he's gone. We'll give him a second. You're gonna have to learn to type faster. Up, we got hearts, so they love hearing from you, Mike. Let's see. Up, they're just saying thank you, so you can be excused and go back to what you were doing.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh goodness. Whoops. Well, now I have half page. Sorry about that. He left so quick. Let me see if I can. Oh, I found my comments. Look at that. Working on the heart paper piece pillow. My first paper piece. Yes. The paper piece pillow. Yes, that is a fun one. A fun project. Hold on. Let me see if I can. There we go. I just turned it off. There's more than one way to do things, but in all of that, I did find my comments, so I can actually see things. Yay! But we did get a new update on this yesterday. Yeah, he's talking about when you might want longer tails. And one of the there's two times I can think of off the top of my head that you're going to want a longer tail on the bottom. Actually, three times. When you want to you're doing quilting on your embroidery machine and you don't want the threads, the little knots, to show up on the back. So that's one of the times that you're going to want to have a longer tail so you can pull that thread up just like you would be if you were going to do free motion quilting or if you were doing long arm quilting. It's the same thing. You want to be able to pull the thread up and not have the knots. That's one of the times. And at that same time, you might want to, on your embroidery machine, to turn off the thread cutter so it doesn't cut the thread at the end. If so, make sure you make yourself a note and post it on your machine so you remember when you're finished to turn it back on, or the next time you go to embroider, you are going to have problems. So that's one time, and because I forget and I do too many things at one time, and the back of mine is the back, it doesn't make a big knotted mess, I leave it alone. These aren't projects that are going into a fancy quilt show or something. If that were the case, I would be doing things a little bit differently. So that's one time. Now, sometimes when you go to use the basting stitch around your embroidery. You want to do, you can turn on that little box, and it's a flower with a little box around it. It will add a basting stitch. Um, and because it's a longer stitch, there's times when it starts, it doesn't catch, and it stitches over, and then all of a sudden it catches. So that's another time. So there's 2 times. Um, so if you're doing a basting stitch, and when you might want to use that is when you're floating a project, and you putting it on top, not able to hoop it. Even if you're using a sticky stabilizer to hold it, you can add a basting stitch to your embroidery. So you can add that. And if you don't know how to add that on, put a note in there in the comments, and I can share that with you. Let's see. And then the 3rd time is when you're sewing buttons on. Okay, and Linda, that's how you solve that issue, is make sure you pull that thread to the back. Not a lot, you pull a little bit, and you just don't cut it off when you put the bobbin in your machine. You just don't cut it off. You pull it, leave it to the back a little bit. But when you're sewing buttons on, or other really thick things, but buttons, if you're using your button attachment and sewing a button on, because your machine, if you use your thread cutter, it cuts the thread off short. And then with the button, you have a thicker space, and it doesn't catch the bobbin thread. So that's another time. And I leave pull the threads out, leave them on the back. Then you can trim them up and use a little bit of your fray check or your sealant on the back. So those are just a couple little times that you might want to use that. And Mike's talking about manhandling and pulling things. Always stop. Okay, just stop. Whatever happens, stop. Okay, whether you've got a big jam, a little jam, a needle breaks, a thread breaks, first thing is just stop the machine and breathe, because we all get frustrated and freak out. I had a project yesterday that came out of the hoop. I'll be sharing that with you a little bit later in our dealer digital exclusives, and show you how to be able to fix it. But it popped out, and it was in tight and everything, but it was really thick, and it got caught and it pulled. So it didn't make a mess, but I have had times where things get jammed up, and I have found that if you stop and just take your time, even if you've got a bird's nest, and we do sell bird nest tools, but no matter what the problem is, our first instinct is to pull. Don't do it. Just stop and take your time. You can always snip your threads, cut. You might end up putting a little hole in your project, but maybe not if you take your time. But the worst thing is messing up your machine. You don't want to do that. And just by taking your time, I've had to in classes take the foot off, take certain things like that, and been able to to salvage the project. So anyway, that's the times when I would pull the thread to the back. And Mike always tells you that when you're cutting your thread, you cut from the top and pull it out the bottom. And when he's saying the foot to be up all the way, if you have a manual machine, you turn your hand crank on the side so that the needle's in the top position. If you have any of the electronic machines that have a needle up down, put the needle down, put the needle up. You might have to hit it twice, but it'll go down, it'll go up, and that's at the top position. So those are just a couple more little hints and things that I hope might be able to help you. Yesterday's class, the last 2 days classes, man, you guys, you missed a lot. You really, really did. Everyone that's in the class is going to be getting an email reminding you that you still have your discount code for your $20 off. And you also have the video was sent out from the first day. We'll send out the second day. And the promotions are still going on through today. So if you were on the fence thinking about the software and stuff, you're going to want to jump on board because in talking with R&K, they are sending their instructor back, and Trish, we are going to be doing using the software, the Embellish Maker software, in March, a 2-day event. We've got her coming back, a 2-day event. We're making a project. And then we have her coming back doing a software embellish class in May. So we're going to be doing those. You know how long those videos from there is a time limit. The link is generally a few days, Jane. I know they'll usually, until we have the next class, they were doing them like that, but it's usually just like 2 or 3 days. I wouldn't count. They might be there a little bit longer, you know, through the weekend. Sometimes that happens. But I wouldn't totally count on it because it depends on, you know, depends on their space. I did get some new classes up on the schedule yesterday. I know some of you guys saw it and have already signed up for them. So we've got new things, new projects, new classes. All of that's coming up. We do have next year, and I'm talking about that because we're into December. We have Dime events, we have Embellish events, of course we have all the Kimberbell events, we have Amalia Scott. I'm always looking for other new and fun things. So this is one that's really cute and fun, Love Bugs. I'm going to be starting working on getting the kits put together for that. This is an adorable project we're going to be making right after the first of the year, so we're ready for Valentine's Day. It's all done in the hoop, and you can use the different size creatures and stuff on it for other things. So we've got that one coming. We have the Bijou Wonder, our block of the month. We're going to be getting that started. They're 16-inch blocks. So if you know a sewer, we're going to be working on that one. I have 4 spaces left, just 4. This is coming up in a couple weeks. This is our Let It Snowman. So we're going to be doing the snowman. So we have that coming up in a couple weeks, and I have 4 spots on that. We have new Kimberbell events, the brand new one, and I'm only showing you in the bag because that's as far as I've gotten it. Some new techniques. It's a wall hanging. We're doing it as a virtual sew in your home studio, 3 days or 2.5 days. So we have that. Of course, our dealer digital exclusives for next year, our subscription, as well as our subscription for the table toppers. And I'm sure there's something else that I'm forgetting. Oh, this one. And this is limited. This is a new 22-inch pillow from Kimberbell that we're doing. And those things, so I'm busy here in the studio getting things finished from the end of the year and cutting kits and other things. Let's see. Now, I will tell you, if you are out there, if you missed the class, but you say, I have been thinking about Embellish Maker software and I want to take advantage of it, give us a call. This is only, I think, through tomorrow, but give us a call because we just finished the event, and ordering the software at a phenomenal price. There is a box full of stabilizer, thread, and 5 different design CDs in there. Really cool stuff. So if you've thought about it, we can help you out. Okay. So that's all I have, unless you guys have something else, another question. Oh, I do. This is for everybody. Okay, this is something for everybody. I know a lot of us, we set when we're sewing, we set when we watch TV, we set when we do other things. Does anybody have weak ankles or would like to strengthen their ankles or stretch things out a little bit? This is something everybody can do. And if I could see your faces, I'm sure some of you are going to scoot back in your chair and you're going to lift your foot up off the floor, and you're going to start this. So this is my challenge for you. It's not hard because we're still doing our 30-minute a day challenge for ourselves. But take, I know, I can see it. I can see scooting back like that, lifting your foot. Start with your right foot or left if you're left-handed, and write the alphabet in capital letters and then lowercase letters, but do capital letters first with your foot in the air. Just, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you just A, B, C, D, all the way down. Then you do the other foot, do the same thing all the way down. Then come back to the first one and do lowercase A, B, C, and then D, E, F. Try it. It's just a good exercise, stretching your legs and your feet. Not going to hurt anybody, so it has to be doctor approved. But give it a try. Just give it a try. It's a good way to work those kinks out and the little crinklies that come up in our ankles when we walk, and even as we get older. So just give it a try. Okay? And I'm working on a new challenge for 2023 for everybody. And no, it's not going to be you have to climb up on bars, if you saw my picture this morning. I do want to find out from everybody, what are you doing for your 30 minutes? Come on, we're doing our 30-minute challenge this month. And that is, in case you haven't seen it or haven't been on, 30 minutes a day of me time, meaning time for you, doing something you want to do. It can be anything, but it can't be sewing something for so-and-so. No, not unless you are the so-and-so. Whether it's reading or cooking or taking a walk, or I have them snuggling with their dogs because it's raining, or taking a walk by themselves, or reading a book, whatever you like to do, and you always put it off because you don't have time. So mine is part of my routine at the gym. I have a good time there. I get recess before I start my day. And I have been taking 30 minutes to sew when I do, or work on a project. What did I do last night? Here they are. This is one of our embellish, the fall harvest, the houses. So I had the houses done, but part of mine last night, see that? I used my watching birds on the feeders. Yeah, exactly, with hot cocoa. Perfect, Sharon. I love it. So it can be anything, as long as it's something that you enjoy, that you're doing for yourself, and nobody's interrupting you. But take a look here. I did the tree, and yeah, it took me more than a half hour. I glitzed up my little project here. So now all I have to do, okay, Eileen, you've got a lot of time. Yes, be grateful and thankful for that, because I know some of us don't. But that's just what we need to do. We just need to take some time, and it'll help you be much more relaxed and less stressed. And I think 30 minutes is a good number. So here, look at my lights across the top. So that's what I worked on. Next, I got to get the thread and string it up, because they're supposed to be strung up. And there's some little balls and stuff that go on them. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I will have that done so I can share it with you tomorrow. But I am working my way through. I am not stressing out that my cup of cheer is in pieces. If you can just do a little bit a day. So, and that counts if that's what you enjoy doing and you're watching Mike and sharing and Mike and be silly, okay? What I use, Linda, is I use R&K's. I just left it in the other room. It's their embellish tool. We have two different ones, one that plugs in and one that's battery operated. You're gathering things to make the winter critters wall hanging. I know, I love the wall hanging. Mine, you can see it over there on the wall behind me. We did that in a class last year. This is the winter critters. We might have a couple more of the little thread sets, but this was one of the things we talked about yesterday. And look at all those really cute designs. So you can get this by itself, or you can get it with the threads. We had thread sets, and we might have a couple of those left. So yeah, this is a super cute wall hanging. So can you get a picture of mine? Yep, you can just snap it. It's right there in the back, Jamie. That just has that was a combination when we did it as a class. It was a combination of that, this design, and then we used one of the frame box. It was a little box thing that we did. So yeah, if you just want to take, you can snap a picture of that. That's perfectly fine. Okay, any other questions? All right, ladies, go have a great afternoon. Go sew something. I actually have class at 2 o'clock with Kimberbell to hear more about their DDE for next year. Remember to get registered or get subscribed, because we will cut them off when I start cutting kits. We have subscriptions, full subscriptions, that give you the dealer DDE, dealer digital exclusives. Gives you the class, the kit, the design every month for all 12 months. Register now. You won't be charged until the end of the month, and you will get all of those things each month. If you just want to collect the designs and you want to do your own thing, and you've got your own fabric, awesome, no problem with that. You can register for that subscription as well. And then of course the table, we're doing the monthly cutie table toppers. That is another subscription. So we've got like 3 subscriptions and 2 block of the month, and then more fun classes coming. So make sure that you watch your emails and that you check on our website and check our calendar often, because I do put the updates there. And I've got, let's see, some of the new stuff. I've got a PowerPoint I'm putting together I can share with you. So, oh, my shirt. You want to see my shirt today? Yes, this is my Dawn We Now Our Ugly Sweater shirt. Because it's Florida. I don't need heavy sweaters. So this was one of the bonus designs from one of our Kimberbell events. It was one of the bonus designs out of, I don't remember which event, but I stitched it on a shirt so I can wear it. It is cute. I know. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow.